Good morning, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. First of all, Happy New Year! I hope you had a fantastic entry into this new year. It's the first day of 2021, and I'm looking forward to some fantastic things happening for the world this year. Now, I want to tell you that I am very, very interested in ancient teachings, and you might know that because I was a naturopathic doctor, and that's traditional medicine. So I had learned many years ago that traditional medicine, a lot of it was written in the language of Sanskrit. And Sanskrit has a lot of depth to it. And I have been learning some more details about some of the things that have come out through Sanskrit writings. One of the quotations that I want to share with you today is actually part of the title of this video, and you'll know that I also put in oneness. So you kind of get the theme of where my mind is going this year. I definitely am interested in oneness. The quotation that I want to share with you is based on a Sanskrit term called Tat Tvam Asi. Tat Tvam Asi, which is the title of this video. This is loosely translated, or pretty well translated, as this: Imagine that everybody is a reflection of yourself. Imagine that everybody is a reflection of yourself. So the idea of these words is I am that, or that is I. So I don't know if you've ever done this, but sometimes you might have found yourself looking at someone saying, wow, this person is really not kind. I wonder what happened that made them this way, right? Or this person is really hurt. I wonder what happened to make them that way. Maybe that's a place that's easier. Then there is the other aspect that you might look at someone who's like really awesome in some way. And you think, wow, I wonder what life experiences have made them that way. And it's such a beautiful thing to actually just be observing these things, right? Now, sometimes that comes from a place of judgment. Like, I'd never be like that if something not so good is happening, or I'm just like that when something good is happening. Either way, judgment, not ideal. It's what you get from the observation that you're making, right? So if you have an awareness of this is not so good, you might think of this exact idea of, I wonder what happened that made them this way. Now, I have the luxury of working with clients that I get to see that when someone is behaving some way, so whether a person talking about themselves or about a family member or a friend, and I get to learn what kind of experiences have shaped that person. And especially the person right in front of me is able to share with me their life experiences, their thoughts, their feelings, their everything that's combined to create an action. And it makes me feel very in touch with them, very present with their experience. And I can understand that, yeah, wow, if this sort of thing was to happen to me, I could understand behaving in this way. And so that I think adds to my compassion for both the person right in front of me, but for a lot of people. And then in terms of when we see something that's really good, I always have thought of, wow, I'd like to be like that. And then what can I do to be more like that? And this is, I think, a beautiful space for people to be thinking from rather than, boy, they're like that because they're just lucky. I don't think doing really good actions in life is lucky. It takes effort. And so does thinking in this way. So when we're thinking in this way, this matches the idea of higher vibrational thinking. So higher vibrations are things like love, unity, compassion, empathy, understanding. All of those are higher vibration energies. And if we think of lower vibration energies, it's the judgment or anger or frustration or dissatisfaction. All of those fall into lower vibration energies. Then I think it's nice for people to think, where do I want to be today in this moment? And not only today, tomorrow, who do I want to be? I am that, right? So remember that if a number of experiences can change a person into creating actions or speaking words that are not so good, if we are understanding our unity consciousness, we can understand that things can happen to me to change me into something that's not so good. That's looking at things from a higher perspective. And then if things are changing in a person's life that actually really lift them and bring them into a really good space, things can happen to us that can bring us into that really good space too. Oh, I will be talking more about energy medicine and vibrational energy in medicine in the year ahead. But for now, I want us to really focus on some of these ancient teachings, which really do represent what's happening today. So today we talk about what's called unity consciousness. And it's the same idea. I am that, or that is I, right? So this is that unity consciousness of understanding that we're all the same. We're all one. We are in this together, right? We're going through COVID together. We are one. Something that happens far in a different country has affected our country, right? So this happens. Winds change in a different country and will eventually affect us here too. So emotions affect, thoughts affect, all of this affects us. And then are we consciously aware of how we choose to act today? Because it makes a difference. So today, I would love for you to sit and think about this for 5 minutes. Now, you might be thinking that, okay, this is ancient Sanskrit and wisdom, and philosophers talk this way, or spiritual leaders talk this way, or religious leaders talk this way. But in action, of course, it takes a bit of effort from each of us. And everyone who has ever spoken of these things has taken some effort to practice mindfully how to do this in their day-to-day experience. And I love that. But I came across a quote from someone you might be more familiar with that I thought I'd share with you. This quote is actually by Albert Einstein. So this might bring things into a little bit more perspective of this is someone that we actually admire and respect, and hopefully this will hit home for you. Albert Einstein had this quote which says, "A person experiences life as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of consciousness. Our task must be to free ourselves from this self-imposed prison and through compassion to find the reality of oneness." Isn't this the same? We're exactly on the same page, whether we look scientifically, whether we look spiritually, whether we look just from a sense of how we feel, right? So we always feel better when we're acting from a place of love and oneness, right? We always feel a little less good when we're acting from a place of judgment or dissociation from that's not me. And the reality is, it always feels better to think of how can I be the best I am or I can be. This is who I am, right? I think when we think of I have love within me or I have goodness within me, it's very easy to start there and see how can I be better? How can I be less judgmental? How can I be more understanding? That moves us into higher vibrations. And like I said, I'll be spending a lot of time this year helping you understand how to raise your vibration and how to act from the highest good, not only for yourself, for the people around you and the world at large too. So today, 5 minutes, sit down and see, are there places that you are judgmental from? And again, that has value too. Not that I want you to stay there. If you're in a judgmental space, find one person that you think this person is not behaving very well. And maybe send them some compassion, send them some love, because something has happened in that person's life that has created that action. Then is there another person that you can look at and say, wow, that person's really great in this way. They're so honest. They're so caring. They're so whatever it is. And can you be just a little bit more that way? Right? So this is self-improvement. I think a lot of times when people look at things that are good, they might say, oh, I'm already like that. They're just like me. We can all be just a little bit better, right? So today, 5 minutes, look at those two aspects and see how you can improve today. And know that I will be sharing much more about this in the year ahead. And today, I wish you a very happy new year, a healthy, a satisfying, a love-filled, and fantastic 2021. And remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.